It looks like we're in the process of removing the mines from the strait. Is that correct? Does that sound like with the
Yeah,
unmanned underwater vehicles and so forth?
that sounds correct if there are any mines, because we don't
Okay.
even yet know if the Islamic Republic has been bluffing over the mines or not.
Okay.
So yeah, so they
Okay.
seem to be at least there, so that if they do find any mines, that they could remove them.
Okay. So it sounds like we're trying to secure the strait for passage, right? Currently.
Right.
It seems like the challenge would be from unmanned drones or I mean drones or missiles or whatever, or even like the fast boats, the little suicide boats, or maybe they're unmanned or maybe they're manned. I don't know, kamikaze fast boats or whatever. But it seems like that would be a very, very longer proposition and some kind of possible strike along the coast or additional strikes along the coast would be required. Jeffrey, could you like maybe go over like what the steps would be required to secure the strait for
And
Oh,
passage?
real
Jeffrey,
quick.
I have a question as well to add to that, because we saw the Americans effectively taking out Venezuelan boats. That was pretty easy for them. So is this something similar? So yeah, go ahead.
So, real quick, the steps are kind of like what we talked about the other day, and we actually mentioned some of the key components that are a part and parcel of the United States' current strategy to secure the Strait of Hormuz from the asymmetric threats and counters the Mullah regime is invested in. So, sea mines, long range one way attack drones, and the mosquito fleet that Armin very aptly mentioned yesterday. Part and parcel of that is we have things like our littoral combat ships. Sometimes it's called little crappy ship because it was a lot of money for a ship that's sort of blue water navy. I don't know. Anyway, the positive part of that is that it had a modular mission capability, like it would switch out modules, and some of that deals with underwater weaponized, well, drone swarms and well, surface and underwater drones that allow you to clear out the strait. We're also using things like A-10. We're monitoring the strait using A-10s and Apaches to gun down any of the fast attack boats that would try to come out after any commercial shipping and or U.S. military, like naval vessels. That's what Armin was talking about, right? It's very similar, like Donald said. The very same thing we use to blow up drug boats will vaporize you in the strait if you try to attack the thing. Well, so I mean that's true. The difference though is that Venezuela didn't have 30 years to spend and harden all the places where you would hide a lot of those things. Like the Mullah regime built these like kind of like hardened tubes that you just put like individual speedboats in. Like they went out of their way for 30 years. I mean, we hit a lot of them. We're destroying. We destroyed most of them. Like sometimes we got to catch a couple. Bad guys modify things on the fly. Maybe the mullah just puts a sea mine on like a fishing boat. That kind of thing. Drops one or two off. So, there's that issue. That said, we're very well involved in cleaning that out. The other question was,
So to secure ships from for passage, would we escort them? Would we like I don't
we're
know
looking
bomb?
at that. I mean, we definitely have definitely looking to escort ships. That said, we don't want to sit there and have like the Mullah regime pull like a fast one and drop a sea mine in front of one of our destroyers and make that big hullabaloo. Because then you're like, wow, I lost $1 billion destroyer. That's why we have the LCSs and the underwater sea drones like scanning and scouring the area. They're actually quite good, actually very good. So yeah, we're definitely farther along in that. Ideally, the counter blockade of the ports is going to have even more impact than even escorting the ships. Because what's the Mullah regime doing? Well, we're going to cut down, hold the entire world's economy hostage. No, you're not. Well, but there's really no buts. I mean, we'll bump up our production. People are coming to us. We're going to take all your friggin' oil. We're already nabbing their oil tankers now. We're looking to take them all with the whole Sunday. Goodbye. And so that'll buy us enough time to clear out the strait and to have the economic impacts of, say, the reverse blockade or the target. Let's call it smart blockade. That's actually probably a better term to have its effect in Iran while minimizing the impact of people here. I'm going to add this real quick. If we had invested in some of the key revolutionary disruptive technologies regarding alternative oil, we wouldn't have this issue. I mean, the United States, just with alternative oil, with turning coal into oil, I won't go into all of it because there's more time we can talk about afterwards, could address the entire world's consumption of oil for 56 years at a price point well below anything that even the House of Saud could pull out of the ground, maintain 50% profit margin, and it's carbon neutral and sulfur free. Tragically, a lot of people lobby to kill those programs. Just saying.
Last quick question. I heard that you can spoof the tracking, the ship tracking, so that, you know, the US won't know that, hey, we're paying the Iranians or whatever, or the Mullah regime. Is that an issue?
Oh, to be sure, the Mullah regime is going to engage in its own, competitive adaptation and or strategic deception and put on different flags and, like turn off their transponder and all the rest of it and pull something like you see on Lord of War, what just pay Kono on the side, that kind of thing. I mean, they're going to do all that shit. We're maintaining, how do I say this? There is a very high degree of probability we're maintaining consistent visual intelligence over the entire strait and things that come in and out of those ports because we know where those are. And so we have eyes in the sky, just watch those ports. And as soon as you come out, you can just track that ship pretty easily. Even if
Thank
they
you.
do all the trading. I mean, you came out of the port, so that's it. We're gonna interdict your ship. Doesn't matter what flag you're flying.